We're here. Hello, hello. Okay, thank you guys all so much for being here and staying until the end here. Like was mentioned, I am Laura Klassen from Choice for Two, and today my talk I have titled Follow Me Off the Path. So Follow Me has been the theme throughout this whole March for Life, and so I'm kind of piggybacking on that by saying that in what I do every single day, I have realized that there are two ways that we are failing babies in the anti-abortion movement. And so I just want to share those two things with you because I am not sure a lot of people are aware of it. Okay, so before I get into that, I just wanted to talk a little more about Choice for Two, just to give you a sense of what it is that we actually do. So we do two different things. On the one side of things, we are talking, I have a team of people with me, so it's not just me, but we are talking to women online, worldwide, who have abortions booked, or who are considering abortion, or who are being pressured to abort. And we speak with them one-on-one and plead for the lives of their children, explain to them that abortion is murder and that there is no case in which it is okay to kill our children just because they are still in the womb. Circumstances may be tough, life may be really hard, things may be unplanned, but we don't kill children in those circumstances, and circumstances change, right? So once we have helped a woman to realize the value of her child and she's committed to the life of her child, we are also able to provide practical help, which is really great. And we're able to do that because of our donors. So women are in tough situations. We end up paying rent, we've bought groceries, we've helped with school fees, we've paid for babysitting so women can further their education. Anything really that a woman might need in her moment of need, we are able to step in and offer it because of our donors. So thank you to those amazing donors who make that possible. Yeah. I just want to share a story with you about two babies that have been born very recently, just to give you a sense of what it is that can happen as well, because sometimes we don't even end up talking to women and their babies are saved, and this is how it happened. So this woman in Georgia, she was in an abusive relationship. The man beat her up. The police came. He went to jail. I actually think he's still in jail right now. And very shortly after that happened, she found out she was pregnant. So she didn't have a job. She lived with this guy. He paid all the bills. And all of a sudden, like, the rent wasn't going to be getting paid. She didn't have any work. So she was freaking out. She booked an abortion at her local center. And she didn't have a car. So she arranged a ride share, kind of like Uber, but it was a different company. So the driver picked her up the day of her appointment, drove her to the clinic, and as she was getting out of the car, he handed her one of our Choice for Two cards. You have it on your table. It's the one just with a woman's face on it, and it talks about unplanned pregnancy. He gave her that card. I have no idea who this driver is, by the way. He gave her that card and said, when you're in there, and when you're in the abortion clinic, check out this website. And then he left. So she went in, she signed in, sat down, and she checked out our website. And she said she looked through the information on there, she watched our videos, she got up to reception and said, I'm canceling, and walked out into the parking lot. In the parking lot, she messaged us. And in her message was pretty much everything I just told you leading up to that moment of her being in the parking lot. She said, I watched a video on your website and I realized that abortion is murder and I can't do that to this child, and will you help me? So we're like, yes. I was actually the one that answered that message myself. So I was like, yeah, absolutely. How can we help you? And we did help her extensively because, like I just mentioned to you before, she did lose the apartment that she was in because she wasn't even the one on the lease. She wasn't paying for it. We helped her get a job. We helped her find a new place. We helped her move in. We paid the bills until she was able to sustain herself. We committed to paying for a period of time after her baby was going to be born, so that, she had that buffer. She didn't really have a lot of support. We did a full online baby registry because also turns out it was twins. So we did a double baby registry for her. And thanks to God, these two precious little humans are alive today. So that is just amazing. So I just want to mention the drop cards that my lovely volunteers walked around and put on your tables. Some go to different videos that we've done. One of them is exactly the card that is perfect to give someone who's in an unplanned pregnancy situation. These are our drop cards. Please take them and drop them somewhere where someone will find them. It's amazing the stories we've heard from people who found our card somewhere. I don't know how it got there. I don't know who this Uber driver is who gave her our card. So please take them, drop them, or save them for like a time you're gonna need them. Yeah, and let me know if you'd like more. I do have a few more I could give out today. So this ties me into the second half of what Choice for Two does, because what we do is we make professional anti-abortion videos, which, I don't know, you guys might have seen some online. And the video that I hear most from women who don't even talk to our team, who just go on the website and watch some things, and then they message us after saying, oh, I canceled my abortion because I watched the video on your website. And I'm like, whoa, which video? Because we have a lot of videos. I'm always interested to know. And usually, which surprises me actually, is our video called Modern Child Sacrifice. So I would like to play that for you now.
Child sacrifice. Barbaric. Evil. Ancient. Modern. There's nothing new under the sun. Throughout history, children have been sacrificed to a variety of deities in attempts to gain favor or blessings. Aztecs cut their children's hearts out to appease the gods of rain and war. Incas sacrificed their children to the sun god so their crops would flourish. Canaanites sacrificed their infants to Moloch for prosperity. Drums were played loudly to drown out the baby's screams. Child sacrifice never stopped, and we still don't hear their screams. There's nothing new under the sun. We sacrifice our children today, not for rain or war victories, but for freedom or convenience. We sacrifice to gain favor in the workplace, or for the blessings of money or fame. We sacrifice our babies on the altar of free sex. Child sacrifice is no longer a public event. It's done behind closed doors. Rather than a gory burning or bloody stabbing, it's become a neat, sterile, and clinical event. We don't throw our children into the fire or leave them to freeze to death. We starve our babies. We poison them. We rip off their arms and legs and crush their skulls. We call it choice. We call it empowerment. And our culture condones it. We celebrate it. We celebrate baby murder. We consider it vital to our existence. It's become a right. But nothing is different. There's nothing new under the sun. Innocent human beings are still being sacrificed for the selfish gains of those more powerful. Modern child sacrifice is thriving. We must end it. End abortion.
Okay, so I actually don't get invited to a lot of pro-life things. A lot of the pro-life movement would say I'm too extreme. I say abortion is murder. But I am the person that deals with it on a day-to-day basis. I am the person talking to women every single day who are planning to kill their children. I am the person getting pictures from women who've aborted their babies in their own bathrooms of children that were born alive, and they'd take a picture and they're like, I wasn't expecting to see this much baby. So I am a person who is very, very angry about abortion. I am not pro-life. I am anti-abortion specifically. So just keep that in mind as we move along here. So I just want to say thank you for inviting me today for my extreme message here. So there are two ways that I think that we are failing babies. And then we need to get off this path, because these paths are dumb and they're not going anywhere. The first one is concerning pregnancy resource centers, okay? Pregnancy resource centers are not doing what you think they're doing. If you are someone who thinks, oh, I'm really against abortion and I need to be fighting it, so I'm gonna donate my money to my local pregnancy resource center, or your church is donating their money to your local pregnancy resource center, let me tell you, you are mostly not actually fighting abortion. Now, I like pregnancy resource centers, okay? I want to say that. I like them a lot. They do really, really good work. They give out free stuff for babies. They support moms, new moms. They offer parenting classes. They do a lot of really, really good stuff. But they don't actually do a lot before the baby is born, is what I've found, okay? And I'm not saying every single pregnancy resource center is the same. They're not. I have not talked to every single center in the world, but I've talked to enough of them that when I started Choice for Two 10 years ago, one of the main reasons I wanted to even make a website was to put together a Canada-wide database of pregnancy supports. So a woman in Canada, no matter where she was, she could go on there, click, and see what pregnancy resource center was close to her, what maternity homes, what adoption agencies, okay? I have since removed that database because it has been doing the opposite, okay? And I'm gonna share a story with you, this is true, of a woman who messaged me. She's in Ontario, and she had an abortion booked, okay? And she was feeling a little uneasy about it, I guess. She went online, she found Choice for Two, she messaged in, and I was the one that ended up talking with her. So I chatted with her over a couple days. She came to realize that her circumstances didn't justify her murdering her child, and by the time we finished talking, she had canceled her abortion. I was like, great. Now, at that time, we didn't have the resources that we have now. So now if a woman needs help, we help her. At that time, we didn't have money like that. And so what I would do is refer her to her local pregnancy resource center, knowing, oh, this is a pro-life center, they're against abortion, they're gonna support her, she's already canceled her abortion, all I have to do is send her along and they're gonna help her locally. So I did that. And she went to her appointment, and I checked back in with her the next day saying, how did it go at the Pregnancy Resource Center? And she was like, oh, it was really good. I rebooked my abortion. And I was like, wait, what? Or did you go to the right center? Did you go to the Pregnancy Resource Center that I sent you? Like, did you accidentally go to an abortion clinic or something? And she was like, no, I went there, and she said, well, they didn't say that abortion was murder like you did. They said it was one of my 3 options, and they would support me with whatever I chose. I was mad. And not only that, okay, they had already booked her in for post-abortion counseling to come back after her newly booked abortion. She was gonna come in to talk to them about how upset she was. So I was just livid, okay? Now, that didn't just happen one time. That started happening a bunch of times. And I was like, what is going on here? And then I realized the pregnancy resource centers here in Canada, they have charitable status. If you have charitable status, you cannot be saying crazy things like abortion is murder. You cannot even say abortion is wrong, okay? And that is a big problem for me. I think these centers are doing amazing work. They are helping people. They're stepping up when people need support, right? They're helping refugees, but I would only ever refer a woman now to them once the child is already born, because That specific baby I just told you about, okay, she did cancel that second abortion after I chatted with her again. And praise God, that child is alive today. But that child is alive. Yeah. That child is alive, no thanks to that pregnancy resource center, and in fact, in spite of that pregnancy resource center, okay? Now, I know some people here, you might volunteer at them, and I'm not saying every single center is like this, but the vast, vast, vast majority are. So I deleted our database, and we don't refer women, which is really unfortunate, because we could use the help, but we just can't risk it at this point. Another thing that I take issue with them, and they take issue with me, I guess, is that when you go to do your training to volunteer there or work there, they'll tell you straight up, you cannot say abortion is murder. Like, don't you dare. You will sound like a crazy person if you say that. Also, don't bring God into the equation. And what I have found at Choice for Two, the way that we run things now, those are the top two things we do that lead to our greatest success in saving babies. One, abortion is murder. Of course it is. And when you're talking to a woman who's in panic, who full well knows that there's a human child inside of her, and you say abortion is murder, do you want to be guilty of that? That strikes her. I'm not coming to her saying, oh, abortion's one of your 3 choices. No, abortion is murder. Let's take it off the table. Let's figure out how we can help you move forward, right? And the other part of it is God. How stupid would we be to take God out of the equation? God can do anything, right? So, yes, amen. And I also find for us, when we're talking to women, that scares them actually. Whether you're a believer in God or not, when you tell someone you're going to die one day and you're going to stand before your Maker and you're going to answer for what happened to this child whom He put in your womb, Christian or not, they listen to that, okay? And this is not being harsh. Both of these things are just facts, okay? So concerning pregnancy resource centers, if you think that you are fighting abortion in this country, children who are being ripped apart, skulls crushed, poisoned, stabbed, born alive onto bathroom floors, if you think you're doing anything to fight that by giving money to your local pregnancy resource center, you are not. And what I encourage you to do is don't just take my word for it. Call your local center, or better yet, go in and ask them. 1, do you call abortion murder? Hands down, they're going to say no. Okay. Will you say to a woman who comes in to discuss her pregnancy, will you say to her that abortion is wrong? They won't. Okay? And if you go in and you do this, which I really hope you do, and you find a center that does do that, please call me or please email through our website and send me the name of the center so I can call them myself, so I can add them to our safe pregnancy resource list, because right now I have like 2 centers in Canada on that list. Okay? That's thing 1. Thing 2, we have to get off this path. This is more talked about in the US. Half of my Choice for Two team is in the US. Because we're all online, that's easy. And if you've been following along what's happening in the US, they've been dealing with and trying to pass some different bills that would actually abolish abortion, right? Now, this is in spite of the pro-life establishment, to be honest. What is happening is abolitionists are going in, presenting bills that say, let's give equal protection to babies inside of the womb as humans have outside of the womb. Anyone who's pro-life will say, yes, I believe that babies in the womb are equal. I believe they should have equal protection. But then when these bills come out, and all of a sudden it's, oh, wait, so this would mean that if you kill someone, you're charged with what? Yeah, that sounds real harsh. The pro-life establishment was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. No, we don't think, no, we're not going to do that. Women are victims. This is the other thing that we just need to cross out and get rid of. Women are not victims, okay? And I would know. I talk to them. I know their reasons. I know their circumstances. I know who's pressuring them, okay? They're not victims. There are a few situations where I would actually say the woman is a victim. In a case where a young girl is raped and gets pregnant and her parents are forcing her to abort, she's a victim, right? She really doesn't have the voice that an adult would have. Another example would be a woman who's being sex trafficked and becomes pregnant, and then who is physically held down on a table so an abortion can be performed. She's a victim, okay? Those are second victims. The victims of abortion are the babies. It is not the woman. It is not the woman who is finding out that she's pregnant, the woman who books the abortion, the woman who gets herself to the abortion, the woman who walks in there and pays for the abortion, the woman who gets up on the table and lies down so that her baby can be ripped out of her. She is not a victim, okay? And if we're keeping along with that mentality, we will never abolish abortion legally. How could you ever if you give women a free pass, okay? Now, this is exactly what just happened in a number of states in the US very recently. They had bills of abolition presented. The pro-choicers did not like this, of course, because when you say, oh, you can be charged with murder for abortion, the pro-choicers start putting out this rhetoric that that would mean police are going to be going around finding every woman who's had an abortion and throwing her in jail, right? That's what they say. That is not how the law works. The law is not retroactive. If a law was to go in today, it would be from today moving forward that abortion would be illegal. You would not be going after anyone who had done it before. You can't. It wasn't illegal when they did it. They did not break the law, okay? So the pro-choicers had that angle, but the pro-life establishment stepped in and said, we will never support a bill that criminalizes women because women are second victims. And you can go online and see all these leaders of these big pro-life movements showing up to speak directly against these bills that would have actually abolished abortion. So I don't know what's going on there, but I did a poll a few years ago on this, and I said, to post-abortive women, if abortion had been illegal at the time of your abortion, would you have actually gotten it? And 99.9% of women who answered, and it was a lot of people who answered, 99.9% said, no, I would not have gotten the abortion because I wouldn't have been willing to break the law, and I wish it had been illegal because then my child would still be alive, okay? In my view, talking to women, seeing women choose their babies, seeing some women choose to murder their children, my opinion is that the most compassionate thing that we could do for women who are facing an unplanned pregnancy is to make abortion illegal. That is the most compassionate thing, because then they cannot choose to murder and they cannot live with a life of regret. Another interesting sort of side note concerning this is if, like the pro-life establishment is doing, if you are telling post-abortive women that you are not guilty, you played no part in this, you are innocent, something bad was done to you, is that woman ever going to truly find forgiveness if she doesn't think she did anything wrong? If you don't think you did something wrong, how can you repent? How can you ask for forgiveness and find forgiveness in Christ alone if you're not going to accept that you did something wrong, okay? So this also infuriates me because these women will stand before God one day. We know this. And they have this idea in their head that they didn't do anything wrong. And that's actually terrifying. So, do you guys know what is the most common type of abortion? How do most people abort today? Yes, the abortion pill. Okay, like by far, all of a sudden. And especially in states where abortion is illegal, meaning the abortionist would get in trouble for doing it, but no one else would. If you're not going to criminalize the mother, there's nothing stopping her from using the pill to kill her own child, right? Which brings me to the last video that I'm going to show today, which is called Death on Delivery. This is from our Exposed series. It's a 6-part series. This one is number 4. You have a death on delivery card. That's one of your drop cards. Some of our other topics have been IVF, fetal cell lines and how they were used to create vaccines, different topics like this that people might not automatically connect with abortion. Okay, death on delivery is about the abortion pill, so it's pretty obvious. But I just wanted to give you a little backstory on how we got this story, because it's a true story. So what abortion pill sellers are doing right now is they're creating accounts on social media to sell their pills. You don't need to go talk to a doctor to get a pill. You can just go on X. X is a big one for getting these pills. Go on there, talk to someone. You have no idea who you're talking to, and they will mail you pills, okay? Now, a really weird thing that these pill sellers are doing is that after they give the pills, they send the pills, the woman takes the pills, her baby is aborted onto the floor or into the toilet or into her underwear. These pill sellers are like, oh, can you take a picture and send it to me, please? And then they use that picture to promote their pills online, saying, look how well my pills work. And you see a dead child lying there. And people are going for this, and they're buying these pills. So what happened was somebody I know replied to one of these ads. It was an ad of 2 babies, twins, at quite a large stage. They looked quite big, on a tile floor, dead. My person responded to that picture saying, how do I know this is actually your pills? What if this was somebody else's pills? What if you photoshopped this? And that pill seller screenshot the entire conversation they had with the buyer of the pills that killed these twins and sent it to us as proof that their pills actually do work. So that is what this video is all about. It is pretty much exactly the conversation that was given to us. And I just want you to think, while you're watching this, who is the abortionist in this situation, okay? And one more thing, the woman who bought the pills is in Texas, where abortion is illegal, okay? So this is death on delivery. Who do you think is the abortionist in this situation? Who do you think is guilty? Is this woman just a second victim?
Hello? I heard you can get me pills.
Maybe.
Do they actually work?
Of course they work. My clients are all success. How far along are you?
26 weeks, I think. Is it too late? It's twins.
No, but you will have to act quickly. I only accept clients under 7 months. Your time is running out.
Okay, can you send them here?
Yes, where?
United States.
Okay, here is what you will need. Prices in Filipino pesos.
Is it safe?
Yes.
Will they come out alive? I heard about that happening in another group I'm in. Like, will they cry?
Oh, it's possible for it to breathe 1 minute or some seconds. But then will die.
So they might be born alive?
It will not be long. It cannot live past 15 minutes.
15 minutes? What would I do? What about the bodies?
You mean the baby bodies?
Abortion is illegal here. I don't want to get in trouble.
It is not against the law in your country to use the pills. Only surgical is forbidden. I have sent to many people in your area and no one has had any problems. Don't even worry. You can bury them outside in the back of your house to show respect for the baby. Okay, you can pay me now and I will get them to you. It will be disguised in shipping. Message me if there is any problem.
Hello? Are you there?
Yes. Did your package arrive?
Yes, but I don't see anything. It's just clothes, no pills.
They are there, like sewed somewhere. Not in the packets. Just check it.
I felt everything. There's nothing here. Did you scam me?
Check everything. Every small detail.
Oh, I can't believe this. They were in the zipper.
I told you. May it go well with you. Send me pictures of your results.
It's over. I'm free. There was so much blood.
Yes, it can be excessive. May I see results? Did they come out dead?
No. They're dead now, though.
Hello? I need some pills.
Hello?
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 Hey, are you
Hello?
there?
Hello? Is there
Hello?
hello?
Please.
Hello?
Sorry, I don't want to talk to you.
I can you go upstairs. Hello?
Hello?
Is there
Hello?
hello?
Talk to me.
Hello?
Hello?
Okay, so pretty heavy, I know. I apologize for my downer of a presentation / not, because I am very, very angry about abortion. Like I told you, I'm getting pictures of dead children on bathroom floors. This is being called empowerment. This is being said that women are second victims. I am so tired of it. I got a picture of a baby struggling in a toilet. And you know what that mother did? She left him there. So he drowned in the toilet. Okay? This is what abortion is. It isn't anything good. It isn't anything happy. Our culture is just, especially Canada, like at least we can see some progress in the States. And we came so close to having one of those abolitionist bills actually pass until the pro-life establishment shut it down. But I have great hope that actually things will continue in that way, and one of these bills actually will pass, leading to actual legal protection of children. Because what just happened here happened in Texas, where all of these pro-life people are saying that abortion is abolished. It is not. And in fact, since it was made illegal in Texas, the abortion numbers have actually skyrocketed. So we have a big problem here with these pills. This morning in my hotel, I had the window open, and I got woken up really weirdly in the morning, and there were two people on scaffolding fixing something, and they were talking about the March for Life that happened yesterday. So I was like, oh, and I totally eavesdropped on that, and the man was saying, oh, he's kind of neutral on it. He doesn't really take a position. It should just be a woman's choice. It's between her and her doctor. And the woman was saying, no, we need abortion because of a 10-year-old who gets raped. That is an awful, awful situation. You guys heard from Rebecca Kissling this morning, right? Okay, no one is condoning that. No one wants to see that. But how about we protect both of the children in that situation rather than kill one? What about we're doing more to prevent rape of 10-year-olds than we are advocating for the murder of children who come from those rapes, right? So anyway, all that just to say, I was so tempted to hello. You're wrong. I talk to these women. I see why they're aborting. Yes, we're aborting late term. Yes, women are aborting for no reason. I had a woman abort, not the other day, maybe a couple years ago now, but her reason was she got pregnant, but she has a cruise booked, and she doesn't want to be pregnant on the cruise. So she's going to get the abortion, and then she's going to try and get pregnant again after that, because the timing wasn't right. That's where that one scene in the child sacrifice video came from, the lady on the beach, because it's real life. It's all stuff that actually happened. But I do want to leave you on an uplifting note, because I actually think it's really cool that all of you young people are here. And I don't have the answers here. I can just give you my experience, and I can tell you some things that I've noticed, these 2 things that I think we need to shut down and change. And you guys are the people that can help to do that. So that is very encouraging. And I just wanted to share something about myself, because a lot of you are at the age where you're going to be making a lot of life choices, right? It's a very exciting time. You're going to be deciding the path for your life. And I just want to encourage you. I think I saw maybe one of your breakout sessions might have been on this a little bit. But when I was young, I was always very deeply affected by abortion. But my talent and what I excelled at was music and theater. And I pursued that as best as I could. I got to the highest level that I could. I got to be working in the Canadian Opera Company on stage every night at the Four Seasons Centre, the biggest company in Canada. And that's what I was doing. I worked hard, I got there, that was great. At the same time, I started Choice for Two, and there got to be a point where I was like, I can't be doing both of these things. And it was an easy choice, honestly, because jumping around on a stage is not really that fulfilling. And this really is, because now through Choice for Two, we've seen thousands of babies who were supposed to be aborted, who are alive today. But I'm just saying this, the reason why I'm able to do Choice for Two now, and I'm able to create these types of videos, and I hope you'll go to the website and check them all out, create these professional level videos, which women are seeing, which are leading to children saved. All of that is because I did pursue the path and the talents that God gave me. And by working in live theater, I realized what it took. I understood what it took to create something at a professional level, and I made connections with the musicians and all these different types of people that you would need to pull something like this off, okay? So I just want to encourage you guys, whatever it is that you're good at, whatever it is that you're passionate about, that's not an accident. God didn't give that to you accidentally, okay? He has a big plan for you. And even if you can't see what the connection's going to be, and maybe it's going to be a real, like my route, right? Opera singer to this. Like, who would have seen that coming? I just really want to encourage you that there is a plan for you, okay? So thank you so much for being here, and I'm counting on you guys, all right? Do something.
Thank you, Laura, for your inspiring and impactful address. We will now take a few questions from the floor, so please raise your hand if you have a question, and Kim will come around with the microphone.
Sorry. Thank you so much. Wow, that was amazing. I have so my question is, do you think that part of the pro-life movement, we should be more passionate and more angry about the issue of abortion? Like, should our signage be really just showing what the truth is? Like, I know seeing the aborted babies on the street and stuff during protests. That is so powerful because you can see what the truth is. My question is, do we need to see more of that during protests? Sorry. Is it better to just show women what the truth is and show people what is actually happening? Do you think that would really help the pro-life movement and just show what abortion is for what it is, which is human sacrifice and murder?
Yeah,
Thank you.
I mean, absolutely. That is what I think. And I don't mean to bash anyone or the things that anyone has done to try and move the end of abortion forward. But if things were up to me, I would have a very somber, angry situation of actual protest. I don't know, and maybe we will set something up, because I am so past being happy and celebrating the good things. The good things are good. It's good to celebrate them. It's great. But we are slaughtering children. And where are they represented? I know a lot of people don't like the graphic images. At first, when I started Choice for Two, I didn't use them because I'd been told by other organizations, like, you can't do that. That's going to scare people. It's going to make you look crazy. But those are the victims of what's going on here. And if we can't look at it, if you can't look at that and say, yeah, that's good, I support that, then there's a problem here. So I love, like, when CCBR gets out on the corner with their graphic images. I have team members in the States who go out with graphic images. So yeah, I completely agree with that. Hello.
Perfect. Okay, so this might be a little bit off topic.
Sure.
I wanted to ask it a bit earlier, but I wasn't able to ask it at all.
Okay.
What would you say to maybe like a young man who wanted to keep the baby, but the girlfriend or the wife or whoever decided to abort it and kill it?
Yeah. So interestingly, we do have quite a few messages from men in that situation. And I think what's sad is that a lot of them think, oh, I'm not even allowed to have an opinion. Like, if I'm going to be a good man and a good boyfriend and a good husband, I just have to support her. It's all about her. And they almost feel guilty being like, am I allowed to, like, say anything here? And we always say, yes, please be a man. Who is supposed to be protecting children and women? Our culture has swung so far away from that, where they are just totally demasculating men, okay? It's bad. No, men, first of all, need to not be getting women pregnant who, you know, might not be in the position to take care of a baby. That's number one. Number two, they need to fight with everything they have. If they have their fiance, girlfriend, wife, whatever, talking about murdering their own child, absolutely, they need to step up and say things like, we can do this. We're not going to kill this baby. I'm here for you. This is going to be okay. This is a great thing. And not just kind of skulk back and say, it's your choice and I'll support you with that. So I would just love to see men, you know, that's the thing about the entire kind of movement in the last few years. It's really swung over to the only people who can really speak about this is the women. And I completely disagree with that. I think the women are stepping up and speaking about it now because the men were told that they can't. And we're rising up to fill those shoes. But I really do think that it should be men. In any time in history, who is it that's responsible to protect especially children and the women? It's the men, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I had a question about, I would really be curious if you could say more about how is it that the mainstream pro-life movement tend to have, as you said, tend to oppose bills that would actually treat abortion as a murder like any other murder? It's really I have a hard time understanding how it's even possible, and I thought it was a very interesting part of your speech. So could you do you have any more information about why is it the case?
Yeah, I mean, so they went in and they lobbied the politicians, the pro-life politicians who were going to support these bills. They went in and lobbied against it and convinced those politicians not to vote for these bills. And there's a lot of big pro-life names that have done this. It's actually all recorded. It's all online. You might not be seeing it. If you message me, I can send you these videos. And actually, you know what? I just think now I'm just going to go and find these videos and start posting them on our social media so you can all find them and see exactly what I'm talking about, because I'm not making it up. So they've been lobbying against the bills directly to the politicians. They have also showed up in the court of law to speak against my friends who were trying to get the bills of abolition passed. My friends would speak, say this, human rights, we need to protect all children. Then these big pro-life leaders come in, stand in the exact same spot and say, no, this is anti-women and we won't support it. So there's a lot of videos online, and you can message me, or I will go and I will post these on Choice for Two.
Sorry, I just had a quick question. I've seen a lot in the news that like a lot of bills have been like they're being passed to like kind of counteract this by like basically like I believe it's Bill C-11 that they're passing to kind of like monitor a lot of the media and just like basically cut out like anything that might be considered controversial. What would your suggestion be to like the youth on like how to like keep posting stuff and like how to keep getting stuff out there and keep supporting the movement without like getting into like legal trouble? Because like that's kind of like the tightrope that I'm like trying to figure out how to walk, right?
Yeah, I hear you, because we're thinking about the exact same things. But nothing has happened yet. You're free to do whatever you want right now. So I would just encourage you to be bold about it and go for it. And you know what? It might take somebody actually posting something and getting in trouble to make a big splash out of the whole situation for the entire country to be aware. Because as you know, the media does not want any coverage about anything anti-abortion, except to try and make us look crazy, right? So I totally hear you, and I think that it's something you need to like talk to God about honestly and decide what it is you're willing to do or not. At the same time, at this time, you won't get in any trouble, but that could be coming down the line.
Yeah, quick question. So you said, I think that abortion was illegal in Texas, but the pills are still being distributed. What do you think, like, is there any solution to that? Or like, what is there to do? Because if we're also trying to make it illegal in Canada, won't that same issue happen here?
Yes, and honestly, if we make abortion actually, like if we actually abolish it legally, it's still gonna happen. Murder is illegal. Does it still happen? Yes, but there are consequences if you do it. Will women still be taking pills? Yeah, probably, but if you get caught, there are huge consequences, right? So we need the law to be the teacher. We need the law to be the protection, the best that we can. So I think we need to make abortion illegal, all forms of abortion, anything that's gonna hurt a baby. If you hurt a baby, you pay the consequences.
I just want to ask, how do the abortion pills work?
Okay, good question. So there are many, many different types of abortion pills, and you can get them from all over the world. Like in our video, these came from the Philippines. Generally what happens is you are given 2 different types of pills. The first pill or pills, it's usually a bunch of them, you swallow them and they will cut off the nutrients through the placenta to the baby. So the baby will starve, suffocate, and die. Ideally, that's how the pills are supposed to work. Sometimes that first pill doesn't work, which is why women are delivering the babies alive, like in this story here. The second pill that you take then, once the child is dead, is to start contractions and basically put your body into labor. So it's a 2-part process. It's very, very bloody. It's very, very painful. And I'm not saying that to like, because people are like, oh, you're trying to scare people. I'm like, yeah, they should be scared of doing that. It's murder. But also, I've talked to the women in panic who are like, is there supposed to be this much blood? I'm not sure. And I'm like, well, you need to call 911. You need to get to a doctor. But they, wanted to do this all secretly, so they don't. And I'm actually quite convinced that in one particular situation with a woman who messaged me having done this, and she was in Africa, I'm pretty sure she died because she messaged me. She sent me pictures of how much blood there was. I can't contact anyone for her. I don't know who she is, right? She just messaged me on some random account, and we were chatting back and forth, and her messages got more panicked. I'm like, call a doctor. She's like, there is no doctor. And then silence. I never heard from her again. So I don't know what happened. And I'm really worried that she died. So yeah, to go back to your question, 2-part process, 2 different types of pills usually. Yeah, so yeah, that's true. There is the abortionpillreversal.com. So if you've taken the first pill or pills to try and kill the baby, they can give you shots of progesterone to kind of undo that damage or try and save the baby at that point. So if the baby is still alive at that point, you just don't take the second pills. And there are, quite a few stories now of women who've changed their mind after taking the first pill, getting the progesterone, and the child is born totally fine.
Hi, Laura. Thank you very much for speaking with us. You mentioned about these pills that the provider takes photos, sends them to prospective clients, and says, this is how our pills work, look. So does that woman actually see dead children, and then she says, okay, I'm going to go for it?
That's exactly what happens. And it's not that they're one-on-one sending these to potential buyers. They're just posting them online for anyone to see, saying, do you need abortion pills? Look how well these pills work, message me. And yeah, it boggles my mind that any woman would look at that image and be like, yes, this is what I want to do. But they are. So it just shows you like the level of evil that there is and no compassion whatsoever for their baby.
Hi, so I just wanted to ask a question because I know you mentioned fetal cell lines, and I feel like that's something that's not really brought up when we talk about abortion, but could you expand a bit on how the abortion industry is related to like the production of vaccinations and like which certain ones to avoid, which ones are?
Sure. Okay, yeah, so that's a huge question. On your table, you have a little card there called It's Okay, and that is the video that I made about exactly that topic. So I actually put together a full chart that does document which individual human being was aborted and harvested alive for each particular fetal cell line, and each fetal cell line, which vaccines that was used to create. So there's a whole big chart on there with links. And the truth of it is that this was a huge project in the 60s. Before and after as well, but mainly then, when doctors across the world were basically working together, harvesting children who were born alive through abortion. So they're working with the doctors that would be doing the abortions to coordinate all of that. Because in order to get tissue to be able to use it for the fetal cell lines, it can't be dead. It can't be dead tissue. So you can't just like go to an abortion clinic at the end of the day and say, can we get, all the stuff you got today so we can use it for research. You can't do that. It has to be alive. It has to be fresh. So that video is extremely disturbing because I actually picked 5 of the most common fetal cell lines, traced each one of those back to the actual child whose organ was taken out of them while they were still alive. One child, it was the lungs. One child, it was their eyes. And for each of those children, the one that was chosen to create that fetal cell line, they were the last one in a long line of usually hundreds of babies that were experimented on before it worked with that one. So we've given names to those 5 babies just so it's easy to keep track. You can see the country the child was harvested from. You can see which organ was taken. You can see the circumstances under which the mom aborted. It's all recorded. And there are links on there as well to where you can buy those fetal cell lines today. And if you go to those links and say, yes, I'd like to buy the HEC 293, it'll say right on there, this was harvested from a child of this gestation, sex was this, came from this country. It's all on there. So definitely check that out because I could do like a whole 2-hour talk on the fetal cell lines.
I actually have multiple questions. So you mentioned that women aren't victims, like the women, the pregnant moms who abort their babies aren't victims. But so after they abort their baby, would you be agreeing that we should offer them support?
Yes, that is something that we do as well. I have a number of post-abortive women on my team because we love women. We love them, and we don't want to see them making this choice for their child. The way we think about it at Choice for Two, which is the complete opposite of what most of the pregnancy resource centers will say, the pregnancy resource centers will say you need to be woman first, woman focused. When a woman comes in, you're relating to her, you're kind of not talking about the baby that much, you're asking all about her, you're invested in her, she's the one sitting right in front of you. Whereas at Choice for Two, the way we approach it is the child is the one who's at risk of being murdered, The child has no voice. The child's own mother wants to kill them. There is no one speaking for that child except for us. So we go into it like that. At the same time, do we hate this woman? No. And if she does come back to us afterward, which a lot of the time, really sadly they do, and they say, we wish we hadn't done it, then we are there to help.
Oh, okay. And then another question I had was, what are like side effects of abortion? Because I've like searched up like abortion pills online, because I've like read multiple pamphlets that like there's like side effects of like higher chances of breast cancer, like depression and everything. But then like I searched it up online. I just like read like the AI overview, so I like don't trust my sources too much. But like it was like, oh, like it's completely safe. It's like 99% like chance of success and everything. So like then I've like read pamphlets saying like no, like you can become depressed, like you can like it can harm your mental health and everything. So like
it's really, really bad for your body. So the medical world doesn't want you to know that, but just think about it. If you're going in for a surgical abortion and they're dilating your cervix unnaturally, harshly, in a short amount of time, that damages your cervix, which can then lead to, if you get pregnant in the future, your cervix is damaged and cannot hold that child in and you miscarry. That's a very common one, which some doctors who are anti-abortion will admit and actually straight up tell you. I had a friend actually who started having contractions, and she was at like, I don't know, 5 months or something, went into the hospital, and the first question they asked her at the ER was, how many abortions have you had? And she was like, why? I didn't think that that affected anything. And he was like, of course it does. It damages your cervix. I have heard that also a lot rise of cancer, abortion, rise of cancer, possibly, especially the abortion pills, right? It's all these poisons that you're just pumping into yourself really quickly. I mean, the thing is, nobody anti-abortion is doing these studies. These studies aren't getting published, right? But if you use your common sense, right? Of course, it damages your body to do something so unnatural to it. And then the mental side of it. Yes, absolutely. It's so sad. We have so many women messaging in suicidal. Suicidal, like I never thought I'd be trying to talk someone down from killing themselves, right? That's a whole other side of it that the pro-choice movement does not want you to know or even think about. And then when a woman does go through that and is really struggling, they're telling her, no, you're not. You're fine. You're empowered now. So it is really sad, really wicked. Yes, it does affect men too. Agreed.
So your presentation was very powerful, and I have one question. You said IVF is also like abortion, it's murder. How come if the woman is still having the baby after the IVF?
Really good question. Okay, on your table there's a card, the Build a Baby card. This is the one we made about IVF. It's very short. It shows the whole IVF process. So what I did not realize about IVF when I started to research it is how many human beings are killed along the way. So do you believe that life begins at fertilization? Okay, so I have no problem with doctors taking eggs out of a woman and taking sperm out of a man. Okay, whatever, egg, sperm. When you put those together and you create a new human being, that's a human being, okay? And they don't just do one and say like, oh, did it work? No, they do a whole pile of them so that you have a ton of material to work with who are actually your children. And then those children are graded, they're reviewed. If there's any genetic defect, they're killed. If the parent wants boys and you have girl embryos, they're killed. They'll be frozen. It's surviving the thawing process is a whole thing. A lot of them don't survive. So, and at the end of it, when the couple then does go through and maybe have 1 or 2 children, but they've got 20 other human beings in the freezer, then they can choose, are they going to keep paying to keep these humans frozen for how long? I don't know. Or you can donate them to science, or you can just discard them as garbage, or there is now embryo adoption, where you can go in and adopt someone else's frozen embryo and try and implant them. So that's a really good question, and there's so much more information in that little video that I made, so definitely check that card out. Yeah.
So this will be the last question, since I know you guys all have to get back on your buses and head home.
How would you go about approaching some close friends about this topic who you know support abortion?
Yeah, good question. So I know it can be awkward, and I am like way on the other side of it now. So if I talk to someone, I'm like, abortion's murder. I'll wear this shirt to your house. So I am not afraid to have these conversations with them. But I totally understand that it's really, really heated, especially if your friend is someone who's grown up in our culture, which, you know, we have, and they really believe that abortion is just a right? It's just an option for women, and women need it. So I get that it's really difficult, but I would say ask them, have you watched one? There's some really terrible, terrible live videos on YouTube of abortions. Say, why don't you watch this if you support it? Watch it and tell me what you think. You could show them one of our videos. We have the one called The Procedure. It's animated, which people are a little more likely to watch, right? Rather than like a live actual abortion, which is super graphic. Ours is graphic too, but it's animated. Have them watch it. Just be like, hey, I saw this video. I want to see what you think about it. Like, do you actually support this? And kind of go from there. But I think the main takeaway is just, you can't be scared. You have to think about it as though, like, the slaughter in this country is unbelievable. And these people don't have a voice, and you do, right? So just go for it. Oh, thank you. Oh, I thought you, okay.